It's the icebreaker in the ice castle in the ice kingdom with the ice queen and the snowman speaking our truth. This is episode 1. She didn't realize she gave me an idea and I ran with it. So on my right hand side is the ice queen. This is Stacy. Of course, y'all know me. I'm Brian. I'm the snowman, and we decided to put this podcast together so we can speak our truth about a lot of things. Everything from humor to old game shows, which is one of my specialties, to mental health, and sick and tired of people playing with mental health because it's not fair, it's not fun, and it's not nice. But for the icebreaker, we decided we're going to reference we're going to talk about some old shows just to get people, just to whet the appetite of the real shit we're going to talk about. And
easily gently.
This is going to be a fun roller coaster, okay? And I grew up in Chicago with Six Flags Great America that had a ton of roller coasters.
Yes.
Half of those some bitches I wouldn't get on anymore.
Pussy. Hey, what?
I have two medical reasons. One, I was bigger in the house. And two, I just don't want to anymore. But I will say I conquered Iron Wolf and I conquered Batman. And that was the last, that was 1998. And that was the last time I had sense.
Really?
That was the last time I came anywhere. Well, actually, no. 2005 in Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah.
They had Power Tower. And we may as well open up with a funny story. They had just introduced Power Tower in 2005. And I got suckered on the Power Tower. Actually, this was 2000 in Minnesota. It was 2000 at Valley Fair in Minnesota. There was this thing called Power Tower, and everybody was riding it. And I said, no way in hell I'm getting on that thing. And then the supervisor came to me with a bribe. Said, supervisor, you have to get on Power Tower. All the employees have to test Power Tower. I said, are you out of your fucking mind? And he's already laughing, and I'm looking at him going, I see not a damn thing funny. I'm not getting on that thing. I bet I can make you get on that thing. How? How the hell are you going to make me get on that sucker that'll go and then drop me down on the ground? Oh, that's easy. I'll buy you lunch for a week. Fuck. All right. You're on. So choose a tower, blue or red. I said red tower. You know what red tower does? No. Good. You're going to enjoy it. You're not going to tell me what this thing does before I climb on it? No. Damn. And I already agreed to the deal. So deal's a deal. As long as I get lunch until I get paid my first time, I'm good. That son of a bitch raised up slowly. And it is the slow climb like all roller coasters do. And then when we got to the top, it locked us in place. I'm looking up at the wild thing. Then I'm looking at the wild thing. And then I'm looking down at the wild thing. And I'm going, what the hell did I get myself into? And as soon as I completed that question, it dropped. I got off that thing. My supervisor, did you enjoy Power Tower? You owe me lunch for 10 days.
Wow.
But wait, you get paid in a week. I don't care. You owe me lunch for 10 days for suckering me onto that thing. He honored it. God bless him. He honored it. And he looked at me and he said, would you get on it again? Hell no. And he said, good answer.
Really? All right, dude. So 2 years old, truth. I've been going on roller coasters ever since I was a baby. It was my favorite thing to do with my mom and dad. And I'm going to be the old lady at 90 years old saying, I lost my teeth at Cedar Point because I'm flapping in the wings.
Hair flapping, t-shirt flapping, everything.
Boobies, everything flapping. 95 years old. I'm going to be rolling.
Ruby's flying everywhere.
Love love roller coasters. My kids constantly, we'll go to a theme park. We haven't done it in years because my husband doesn't like roller coasters. But anyway, yeah, I'll go all day again and again and again. And the scarier the better. Love it. Love me some coasters.
Scariest roller coaster I've ever ridden was Iron Wolf at Six Flags Great America. It wasn't your regular roller coaster. Why? You have to stand in that bastard. And the morning I get to work, I walk right past Iron Wolf, and my supervisor, and I work the train because there's a microphone in the back of that thing and I get to use it.
Right.
So my supervisor runs up to me and says, they need a couple people for Iron Wolf. And you ain't getting my ass. Yeah, I get dragged to Iron Wolf. I said, I did not volunteer for this. Oh, you'll enjoy it. 3.5 minutes of standing around, spinning around like a top. I got off that thing. I walked right up to my supervisor and I said, I'm going home. And my supervisor said, wait, you just got here. You got me on that thing. Well, what if we promised you could work the back of the train all day? Is that a promise? That's a promise. You renege on this promise, I will get in trouble. Why? Because I'm kicking your ass. Both my supervisors are cracking up. I worked the train the rest of the day. They were fine. I said, I don't want to leave the train. But see, this is a sample size of what y'all are going to get when we speak our truth, because we're speaking our truth now about roller coasters. I got talked out of them. She got talked into them.
Love.
Like I said, I got talked out of them. The older I got talked out of them. She got talked into them at a very young age, and she doesn't care. No. I can totally see Stacy sitting in the roller coaster, just a nod in their head, waiting for everything to go. They begin that slow climb. Everybody is hunkering down. She has her arms out like this. She has her arms out like this, waiting for the thing, and everybody else is looking up. She's looking down, going, "Can you start this motherfucker already?"
Except this badass bitch is deathly afraid of chairlifts.
Oh.
Explain. Seriously, I'm like, no. Seriously, I can't do chairlifts.
How can you not be afraid of roller coasters and be afraid of chairlifts?
Ask my husband. I'll have a panic attack. I have it videotaped. Like, seriously, we went to Gatlinburg for our honeymoon last year, and I was like traumatized. But yet, take me on the scariest roller. I don't know. It's a mental thing. Mentally.
I guess that's how we start the darn. I guess that's how we start the darn thing. I mean, you're afraid of chairlifts, but not afraid of roller coasters. Me, exact opposite. I can't explain that one at all. I can't explain that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to explain that. And like you said, it's a mental thing. It's like you said. I mean, I was afraid of dogs most of my life. Then I met Lucy. Lucy climbed into my lap, and I've been a dog person for the last 4 years. Because when my wife came to pick me up, I was living in Michigan City. When my wife came to pick me up, Lucy jumps out the car, looks up at me. Okay, I recognize you. And I'm like, huh?
Oh.
And Jody looked at me and she goes, she loves you now. And
you're done. Yeah.
And that dog, bless her loving heart, has been attached to my hip ever since.
Man. Yeah, Sammy's the only girl that Kenny's allowed to leave me for, and that's our 5-year-old Pit. And that is one bitch. I mean, she's like, Mom, who, please? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not a cat person. No, come at me with no cats. But I love dogs. God, do I love dogs.
I lived around cats most of my life.
You.
I lived around cats most.
My best friend's a cat lady, two of them.
Listen. My mother and my sister, for some god-awful reason, loved cats. I'm like, why? What the hell were y'all thinking? And then these cats get friendly with me before they tear something up in the house. And I'm not cruel to animals,
Mm-mm.
but I nearly killed all three of the cats I lived with at my
I
parents'
know
house
that's a fine line. Fine line. Yep.
because they nearly tore to shreds something that I valued in my room. One of the three cats tore up a Michael Jordan poster that I just got out of the Sun Times. I
Oh
said,
boy.
you little bitch.
Bad kitty. Bad kitty.
I said, my father heard me call the cat a bitch, and he said, why are you using such language toward the cat? I said, does this answer your question? And he looked at her and he said, bitch. Cat flies downstairs, never bug me again.
No, thank you.
Man, you touch anything else in my room, I'm whooping your ass with the
Mm-hmm.
thing you touched. See, this is part of what mental health is all about. When you get two friends together that love to laugh,
You have to
and
laugh.
Jody's my best friend. She's my best friend, and I hers, and we laugh all the time. You have to,
You have
because this world is too damn serious for its own
to.
good. Too damn
Mm-hmm.
serious.
Oh, it's horrible. People need to take the stick out of their asses. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. That's why I think we met. Seriously, skip down the
You're
lane with
right.
Dorothy. Pull
I
out your ass.
mean, hey, I say that all the time. I just put it in the form of a question. I said, when are people going to pull the stick out their asses?
Terrible.
And
Well, that's why we met.
it's exactly why we met.
True
It's
story.
horrible. And what's also horrible that people play with mental health. You don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
That's not fair and that's not fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
That's
I'd like to
why
know more about that. I'm curious about that. What do you mean play? Like, because when you said that the first episode, play with.
they claim they have mental health issues and then something happens and all of a sudden they disappear. That's what.
Mm-hmm.
They use the stigma, and that's one thing we are going to really get
Hell
into
yeah.
tonight.
Big time. Big time.
This is one thing we're really going to get into tonight. People play with the stigma of mental health. And some people use it very, very, here's a word, fraudulently.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say they have mental health issues. And I look at them and go, you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea. Because I said this last time we were together, and I've said this on my show often. The first thing you feel when you're dealing with mental illness, depression, anxiety, and everything within
Mm-hmm.
is alone.
Very true.
You feel so alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something you can't fight by yourself. Lord knows I've tried, and I know you've tried also, and Jody has also. But you don't fight that alone, because if you try to fight that alone, you're walking right off a cliff. A big one.
And that's why most people do, unfortunately, because there's no safe space for anyone anymore.
There
Everyone's
isn't.
judging. And it breaks my fucking heart, man. It really does. I mean, but that's why I'm so, hard, because everyone's losing their damn fucking mind, and it scares me. And like you said, how long we've known each other? A week? And how much
Yeah.
have you laughed? How much have you laughed?
A lot.
So the
A lot.
combination with your relationship with Jody, which is laughter, mine with Kenny, we laugh all the time. But to combine that in a like extra dose of laughter, you can't have
Yeah.
too much laughter. And I'm like,
Never. You can never
never.
have too much laughter.
And that's
Anyone
why
who
I'm like,
says
it's crucial.
otherwise, anyone who says otherwise is a fucking liar. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They're a liar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have family
get.
members that say things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
What gets me, what gets me is my mother at times would ask me. I know you've been given this question. Jody has also. I've been asked the following question by my mother, my late mother, rest her soul. When are you going to act your age? When you pull the stick out your ass? I've had so many people look me in the eye and ask me that question. When are you going to act your age? You're 30s and
Please.
40s. You're 30 some odd years old. You need to act your age. You need to kiss the back of my ass because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not giving this up. And I'm
Mm-mm.
glad I didn't. My dad told me to be myself, and I'm being a fool. I mean, my dad was the biggest comedian on earth, and my dad was the biggest goofball on earth,
Mine too.
and I'm second fiddle. I'm second fiddle compared to him. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not changing for anybody,
Exactly.
and I
Exactly.
can't
And
change
that's
for
the beauty of
anybody.
it. That's the beauty of it, though. I just love that's what
Mm-hmm.
I love about you because that was the first thing, when you and I started talking, I was just like, your presence is so strong. And I never in a million years would, just like I told my husband, to see this man and hear his story, I've never seen someone just speak so, you know, just raw and real. And I was just drawn into that because I'm like, geez, people need to see this raw, the realness, the authenticity of who you truly are. But
Mm-hmm.
seeing you stand in that power, again, I'm looking at you like, oh my God, it's good for him. It's just like, I'm so proud of you and anyone right now that can come forward and say,
Yes.
yeah, I'm vulnerable. Yep, I fucking hate it. I hate it, but I'm vulnerable.
And that was a perfect segue into what we're talking about now, and a perfect title for this first episode. It's okay to not be okay. It's
Amen.
okay. It's okay to not be okay. And this
To
is
lose
very
your
personal
shit.
to me. And
Lose your
it's
shit.
very it's very personal to me because so many men in this country and in this world are slapped with the stigma of just manning, quote unquote, manning up. That's bullshit.
Mhm.
That's flat out bullshit. Why do men have to man up when they're not okay? There's so much that men take on. People who deal with mental health, men, women, children. Let's just go ahead and put it all the way out there.
All of
Men,
them.
women, and children who go through mental health know it ain't okay. Period. It is not okay. It can't be okay. It can't never be okay until they realize and look themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not all right. Something is wrong with me, and I can't take it. When you
Mhm.
get to that point where you cannot take it anymore, you crack. You absolutely crack. And
Mhm.
once you crack, some people will run away because they think, oh, you have an anger issue. The young lady I dated 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when she would push my buttons, and Lord, I know you've been there. I've heard horror stories from you. I've heard horror stories from Jody. Anybody who has gone through something we like to call an abusive relationship can identify with what I'm about to say. When your supposed partner, the person that you love, that doesn't love you back in full, continues to cinch in and push your buttons and push your buttons and push every single button that they know how to push because you were vulnerable enough to let them in, and they were vulnerable only to a point.
Right.
They were vulnerable only to a point, and they get you in and they start pushing all your buttons. You get to a point, you don't care where it is, what time it is, when it is, or whatever. You crack.
Hmm.
And the
Multiple
lady I
times.
dated, yeah, the lady I dated kept pushing my buttons on a sales call, mind you. On a sales call. I'm trying to get a sponsor for my broadcast season, and this bitch kept unloading, making me feel lower than dirt. And finally, I got back to my car and I verbally snapped. You know this. This bitch had the nerve to look at me and say, "You have an anger issue." Well, before I experienced an anger issue, I got in my car and drove away.
Mm-hmm.
I had to. That's why I'm such a advocate for men and mental health. I'm an advocate for mental health, and anybody who goes through something like that where a person keeps pushing your buttons and you finally crack.
Mm-hmm.
It's the toughest thing. I'll say it again. It's the toughest thing for a man to go through, because as men in society, you've seen it as well as I, men are taught to just keep going. When is it good for the man to say, I'm not all right, I'm not okay? Like if someone, are you having a good day? Hell no, I'm not having a good day. When is that okay for people to do, especially men to do? Because like I said, this touches a very personal point with me. And I never thought it would until the fact that I've been going through it for 7 years. I got clinically diagnosed with depression and anxiety in 2017 when a person who I thought was a friend said to me, I know you hit rock bottom. And at the time, I lost my daughter. I was thinking about the loss of my daughter and the loss of my dad. I was so physically tired from being up the night before, trying to start a job. That didn't work. My brain snapped. And I woke up the next day knowing I had to check out of the hotel that a friend put me in for the night so I can rest. And I went off. I said, how the hell do you know what rock bottom is? How the hell do you know what I've been through? How do you know? Did you lose a child twice in 2 years? Once to adoption and once to death? Did you lose a family member that you called your hero? Did you lose somebody close to you? Did you have somebody close to you that kept fucking with you every single day? Did you have someone close to you that you thought was a friend but wound up double crossing you by taking your woman? Happened right under my nose. And that some bitch had the nerve to talk to me in 2015 about appearance. I said, you raggedy motherfucker, your pants are hanging below your ass. I'm going through a pants issue myself. I know that, but at the same time, at least I can cover it up with a sweater. What the hell can you do? They project their problems on to you. And it just makes it that much worse, especially when you're going through hell in a handbasket. Especially when you're going through hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I commend you so much, because I don't know, I don't know many men that would come forward with what you're coming forward with. And that's why I think it's so important, because you're the only one who could tell your story in the shoes that you have walked through. Come on now. Unbelievable, unimaginable to me, because I've never lost a child, but there's so many similarities that my heart just breaks for anyone, very empathetic. And my heart breaks for you. It really does, man, because you deserve, you deserve everything. You know that. With what you've walked through. That's why I'm like, the broken people need to heal the world. They
Yeah.
do, because our brokenness is what makes us so beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
people look at us like, oh, you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. Oh my God, anger, you're depressed, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Mental illness,
Mm-hmm.
mental health. No, no, not cool. Not cool. Shit has to change, and it has to change now, because so many people are losing their damn fucking minds. And as zen
Yes.
as I am, for me to get to the point, because you know me, I'm like, no anger. I'm like, chill.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. Whatever, because my anger is all out. I processed all my anger, so I'm healed. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to be like more chill. But when I get passionate about something, that you're like, okay, because a lot of shit comes out, because that's something nowadays that people are losing the damn fucking mind. And
Yes.
I've been there. I know what it's like to lose your fucking mind, and as do you. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I can't even imagine. And no matter how, and I don't know if it was like this for you, but for me, Kenny could not help me. There were times Kenny could not help me. I was that far gone. I was that far gone. And that man is my soulmate. I mean, he's half my heart. And
Yeah.
to be like he physically, and that man has been my caretaker for 7 years. I've hit rock bottom more times than fucking Tigger. You know, I keep coming back
I
up,
get
up,
it.
up, you know, but hitting rock bottom so many times, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like coming forward with what we've been through is so needed right now because like you, I was a strong one, but I had a different strong. I had a different, you know, my path was so different because I was the strong one that no one could see sweat. I was a trophy wife. I was the, you know, I was everything. I mean, I was a leader. I mean, 2021, I got an Excellence in Leadership Award. I'm a fucking leader. I'll be damn sure I would chew my arm off before I called someone to say I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God. So when I was down, whoo, woo, and I don't think many people could have survived the levels of hell. Mine is different to me. Yours is, you know, unique to you. But to
Yes.
be at that level of hell that you're like, I cannot take one more breath because I'm on my
Mm-hmm.
way out. Fuck,
Yeah.
man, that changes you. And people have to realize, no, come on, why? Why? Why is this so bad? Why
Yeah.
is it so bad nowadays? Bullshit. Half the world's going crazy. No, I'm sorry, what, 90% of the world going crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. Understandably, we have every right to be. But people
Mm-hmm.
need to know there has to be an outlet. And I feel that's why you and I, we talk deep, but they're, you
Yeah.
know,
But we're goofy at the same time.
recalibrate. All right, pity party over. Next.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I've never had a woman catch so many of my tears like Jody has, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the other times, it's like, why don't you just pick yourself up? Sometimes, some nights when I crawl into bed, when I'm here in my office and I'm working late and I feel that depression coming, it's like, okay, I got to sign out and I got to do it quick. First thing I do when I crawl into bed, I cry. And my wife puts her arms around me and she just says, it's going to be okay. You just had a busy day, especially lately. Now that I'm kicking pancreatic cancer in the ass,
Hell yeah.
anyone who goes through cancer, it's a physical toll as well as a mental and an emotional toll. Saw it twice with my parents, especially with my dad. I lost my dad to prostate cancer in 2007, and that broke me. I didn't realize how much it broke me until 10 years later when I got posed the question, what's one event that you went through that you saw that put you in a tailspin? Didn't realize it was me losing my pop. Didn't realize it was losing my pop to prostate cancer. And the second one, I just told you about it, losing my daughter. I can identify anyone who's going through mental health can identify an event or several events that put them in that tailspin. Anyone, especially when I can't wait for the day that men start coming forward more with what they deal with,
It's coming soon.
especially, and I'm beginning to understand the athletes more now that come forward saying, look, I had some mental issues. They're forced to close them up.
Yes, they are.
They're
Breaks my
forced
heart.
to close them up, and that's sad to me. That's horrible to me.
No one can live. No one can function. If we had to function for 5 minutes in the state we're at, every person on this planet would call us out.
Yep.
I can't. I was at the point where I could not hide it. I broke down. I lost my shit. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
nope, going through the mask 45 years, no. It fucking broke me to like unconsolable, uncontrollable crying at the just deepest pits of hell. And I could only save myself at that time. There were times that
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, no matter as strong as I feel in his arms, that's my safe, happy place, just in his arms with my puppy, camping. No,
Mm-hmm.
nothing, not even that. So, you know, go, if you, and being able to be empathetic. That's what I learned more than anything because even though I can't walk in some of your shoes, I feel my heart feels your pain Like I'm walking through it with you. And it's like, I don't even imagine how you and other people that have gone through what you have survived. I'm just like, thank you, God, that you're still here. But dude, I don't know how. I
There are
don't.
some days I don't know how either. And recent history, June of 21, bilateral blood clots in both lungs. July, get diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 3, not stage 4, but stage 3. Thank God for that, because we can beat it.
Yes. You will
September
beat it.
1st, I will beat it, exactly. September 1st, my mom passes. 2 months later, have to move to Indiana. My wife made the decision, look, I got to lean on my family for support and get some extra hands to help you. I can live with that. But then when some people in the state that you're in make you feel unwelcome, that fucks with you.
Oh yeah.
There are some people very familiar to me in the state of Indiana that make me feel unwelcome. Well, what are you doing here? Why aren't you back in North Carolina? That will fuck with you.
Oh
When
yeah.
people you leaned on for many years decide to turn tail and run, and that's what they're doing. They're turning tail and run because they don't know how to deal with your current condition. I've had many people reach out to me and they said the same thing you did. You're going to beat this cancer. But the one person that opened my eyes to it was Jody. Because we had to talk one afternoon, and after I got diagnosed, I was below rock bottom. I'm like, fuck this shit. And that's when my wife looked me in the eye and says, I believe you're quitting. And that turned on the light for me. She looked me dead in the eye and said, I feel that you're quitting on me. And she didn't follow it up with anything else. She didn't say, I don't want you to quit. She told me how she felt, and I acted on it. I said, you know what? I can't quit. I got a woman that loves me unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be taking the coward's ass way out if I let this cancer beat me. And I can't do it. Can't let
There
mental
you go.
health beat me either. It's
There
a
you
pain in
go.
the ass, but I can't let it beat me. So
Every day.
I gotta be there for her when she breaks. And she's broken many times.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that someone that's there for you, being empathetic, and you just said it, being empathetic is one of the biggest things. You may not be able to help them physically. You may not at times be able to help them emotionally, but a little empathy goes a long, long way. Damn
Just
long way.
listen. Just listen. Some people, if they would just fucking listen. 5 minutes,
Yep.
just fucking listen.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. You know what killed me about oncology? Because as you know, I was an oncology nurse for a long time. God led
Yeah.
me down the oncology path. And
Mm-hmm.
while I was going through that, my son was attempting suicide multiple times. And I had to have the poker face because that's the ice queen. Poker face.
Yep. Yep.
I would go to Duke, and my patients said to me, we pick you because when we sit in your chair and you give us our chemotherapy, you make us forget we have cancer. So my patients, not only did I save their lives, they saved my life because of the impact they felt for me and what they did for me. But again, oncology.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what broke my heart were those women and those men that were getting chemotherapy, dying of cancer, having cancer, beating cancer, and their spouses left them. And I couldn't fathom what kind of human being, would leave until I hit rock bottom and I thought I was losing and I was able to walk in those shoes and I said, damn, fuck yeah, I'd fucking leave too, if I'm being honest. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
being honest. But the realization of the magnitude of love of people that stick by their spouses, which is another show,
Yeah.
going through something so life altering, but the
Mm-hmm.
attitude is fuck you, cancer. And Jody with her sense of humor and your mindset and your sense of humor and me, your Tazzy,
Hey.
come on. You gotta, you're gonna beat this fucking shit. And it's like your
I am.
message is I'm honored and humbled to be here with you because God obviously knew what we both needed
Yeah.
and what America needs. Well, or the 1%.
And what the broken souls need. What the broken souls need.
I just want
Okay?
one. If I can make one person smile a day, golden. One, just
Well,
one.
when we taped last time, and as my wife was giving me a kiss to go to work, you made her smile. So your streak is still alive. And I said
Woo!
some 30 years ago, if I can make one person laugh or one person smile every day, then my streak is alive. So my streak's been alive, even with everything that I'm going through. It's like, okay, I beat bilateral blood clots in my lungs. I've
Yep.
kicked COVID in the ass, getting rid of this cancer. And the way my
Fuck
wife
yes.
explained it to me, she says, there's a little baby on you that you got to get out. When she said that, I was cracking up laughing.
Okay, he's still in. Mine is out. You need to come out because we can have a coming out party together.
This guy has to come out.
Yes,
This guy has to come out.
it will.
And
It will.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it to happen. I'll recover.
Enjoy the ride, dude.
I'll get my
Enjoy
strength
the
back.
ride.
I'll get my strength back, and I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
Because I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm going to celebrate every part of that 50th birthday. Just like down the road, I'm going to celebrate a 50th anniversary with Jody.
Amen.
That's the promise I'm keeping. That's the promise I'm going to keep.
All right. We have documented it. It's documented.
Oh yeah,
It's documented.
and we're going to continue to document as long as we no. When we're keeping this series going. We're only going to go for a little while. We're going to go for a little while today, but we got bigger subjects down the line.
What topic? I don't know if we could do one.
You know what? For tonight, yes, but down the line, we're going to have at least 4 in every episode. At least.
I think so.
Because
what people want to hear. What the hell y'all want to hear? What do you want us to talk? Let's give them something to talk about. There we go.
Exactly. And then down the line when the fans come in, they give us something to talk about. They suggest something for us.
Reciprocity. We need a mutual exchange.
Reciprocity, big time.
Roomy
reciprocity,
quote.
Big time.
Roomy.
I tell you, it was funny. I gotta share this story. When I got diagnosed with bilateral blood clots, we were in Henderson, North Carolina. Got to the hospital, and the doctor said to me, "We got to get you to Duke now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And I'm half out of it. I said, "Duke is 40 minutes away. How the hell are you going to get me to Duke?" And then he answered my question by saying the word helicopter. And I'm half out of it. And I'm thinking, okay, I get a helicopter ride. Wait, what the fuck? And Jody kissed me and said, "Enjoy your helicopter ride." And they were wheeling me out. And I'm going, how the hell am I going to get my big ass into a helicopter? Question answered. They got me into the helicopter. And I slept. If there's one thing I do a lot of, since I've been going through my health problems since last July, if there's one thing I do a lot of, I sleep. I try to sleep and rest as much as I can, but I also applaud Jody for getting me out and around as much also. You know, I haven't been taking advantage of it until lately, but I'm glad I'm doing that, you know. But they got me in the helicopter, and I fell asleep when they wheeled me outside. Then the sun hit me because, of course, it was 80 degrees in Henderson, North Carolina. Got me onto the helipad, into the helicopter. They gave me something. I fell back to sleep. Next thing I know, I'm in Durham, North Carolina, and they're wheeling me into Duke Hospital. They're getting me registered. And my wife raced down to Duke and helped with everything. And I laid on this little table for 2.5 hours while they sucked all these blood clots out of me. Now, am I grateful they did the procedure the same day? Yes, I am. Am I grateful for Duke Hospital? You better believe I am. I love those guys. But me, this size, and a table this size, did nothing for my back and my knees, and they didn't account. Well, you couldn't account guys being tall. Hell, it's a standard. You know this. You worked in oncology. It's a standard unit.
No.
Why was my ass hurting? My back, everything below, my back and everything below was on fire. I couldn't move. I couldn't adjust. I couldn't lay on my side. I couldn't do anything. Like, you have to lay that way for 2.5 hours. What the hell?
I know.
Finally, one of the nurses distracted me and said, I got something that'll help you. What's that? Look to your left. I see a hockey game. I'm like, cool. Okay. My back's still hurting. So one of the nurses comes over, and before I can say anything, she says, do you want me to put something in your IV that'll help the pain? Yes, please. And the guys behind taking all the pictures, they were cracking up. One of them came out to me and they said, I know you're hurting. You're tall. This table isn't. I know you're hurting. And I was just having fun giving them shit now because they were giving me shit at the same time. But my wife said, look, you want to distract him? Put a sports event in front of him. How well does my wife know me? But got through that. I got back on the hospital bed and I looked at the doctor and I said, I love y'all for doing this procedure. Now get me out of here. I need to sleep. My wife comes with me and she said, you know, you were giving the doctors a lot of shit, right? I'm like, yeah, I think. But the worst thing about a hospital when you're staying in it, you don't sleep.
Oh, of course not.
You don't sleep at night. You sleep during the day with no problem. And I think that's why my sleep schedule's so off. Because I spent 5 days in a hospital. I couldn't sleep worth a damn at night in the hospital.
Dude.
I tried audiobooks. I tried music. I tried looking at a basketball game. Nothing.
Well, duh. I mean, rather sticking something up your ass, down your ass, up your throat, down your throat, in your arm, up your ass, like shit. Come on. 27 years as a nurse. You don't think I got some stories?
That'll be a separate episode. Our visits to the hospital, you as a nurse and me as a patient. That'll be a separate episode. Count on that one, folks.
Here, shove the crystal up your ass. You're good. That's me now.
But the thing, the first night, I kind of got 5 hours of sleep, and I say kind of. And
that's impressive.
I don't know how I got 5 hours of sleep because the next thing I know, they were tapping on my door at 6 o'clock in the morning. They were wheeling in breakfast. I'm going, did I sleep at all? Because it didn't feel like it. It was the next night that bugged the hell out of me because my wife left after visiting hours. She drove home. I'm not going to sleep until I hear from Jody. I'm not moving. Nurses come in checking on me. Are you okay? Waiting to hear from my wife. Wife calls. We talk for, I was only going to talk to her for a couple minutes. We talked an hour. And Lucy's in the background. I hear Lucy rustling around in bed and you know, Jody goes, she's laying on your side of the bed. You think she misses you? Like, I miss both of you guys. I miss y'all. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my daughter, Sonia. The day I fell in the kitchen and was so disoriented and my wife couldn't tell the emergency folks what was going on, my daughter took the phone and explained everything. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention her. So 2 of my favorite girls saved my life.
They 1000%. You would not be here.
I would not be here were it not for Sonia and Jody. They saved my life. And I'll brag about them all day long. But the one morning that got me, I talked to Jody. It was a little after midnight. And I was sleeping good. I fell asleep like 5 minutes after I talked to Jody. You know, at 2 o'clock, they woke me up for a scan. Could not get back to sleep to save my life.
Wow.
Could not get back to sleep. They woke me up at 2 o'clock for a scan, which was supposed to be at 1 o'clock the previous afternoon. Couldn't get it in because everybody was booked. So why not share a couple of hospital stories? I couldn't sleep for the rest of the time I was in the hospital. Couldn't sleep.
Western medicine almost killed me, so that's going to be another subject. Oh my God. I don't know. I've got 500 blogs. Where should we start?
I mean, it drives you mad.
Horrible.
That's what one of my favorite songs is. That's one of my favorite songs is "Mental Health" by Quiet Riot.
Yes.
Bang Your Head by Quiet Riot. That's one of my favorite songs.
Gotta sing, gotta dance, gotta laugh. Yep.
You got to sing, dance, and laugh a lot.
And fart.
That's why I love George. That's why I love George Carlin. Yep. That's why I love Richard Pryor. That's why I love old school comedians. And that's why I love my wife, because she'll say something that will just have me on the floor dying. We were coming home one day, and we had to hurry home because she had to go to work. She worked at home at the time. I'm knocked out. Driving back. I'm knocked out. She's driving back, and traffic stopped. I didn't even think about it. But she says, we stopped traffic on the internet. I sat up out of a dead sleep and said, what? And I lost it. I lost it. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me, bless her heart, and goes, what? I'm still laughing. I'm still laughing. I said, so we stopped traffic, huh? Yeah. On the internet. What? Yeah. Yeah. But this is one of the things that we're going to bring to this podcast. A lot of laughter, a lot of truth, which is why it's titled Speaking Our Truth.
Self-deprecating.
We're going to close up shop here, but I must relay this story before I hit the button. We should have been done about 20 minutes ago, but we were laughing for 20 minutes because Stacy, my twin sister in mental health, said the following quote, why don't we do this? Because I don't want to suck. And my mind, of course, went downstairs. I tossed my headphones and I laughed so hard my stomach hurt. You know I'm going to use that soundbite, right? We don't officially have an intro, but I'm going to use that soundbite like I use my wife's voice, because anyone who's listened to Snowman in the Morning knows my wife brings us into the show when she goes, Mister, will you please wake up?
I can't get the Muppets out of my head. Sorry.
See?
And I have to say this because you know the Muppets, the phenomena.
Phenomena.
So I had a near-death experience, phenomena. So I want to do phenomena.
That's one of my wife's favorite songs. Wait a minute. First weekend I spent with her, she reminded me of that song, and I happened to find it on YouTube, and I played it. I was in the kitchen, she was in the bedroom, and I played it. And I hear her scream, go, ah, you found it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh geez. Yeah. When we left, what was that, like 20 minutes?
All you had to say, see, I can't blame anybody, because all she said was, and I understood the context of it, don't want to go off the rails, which we did anyway. She's like, I don't want to look. I want this to be right because I don't want to suck. Yeah, forget it.
And
And I
that's
can
how
see
we talk
Kermit.
to my
I can see Kermit
girlfriend.
waving his arms in delight.
Yeah, but us old ladies have the bat wings that knock some people out. So, hello. It's like chicken flap. Boop, boop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Phenomena.
Somehow all these sound bites are going to play in my head, and I'm going to find some stupid way to work it into our intro. All right. We're going to sign off for now, but next week we got a full episode for you. Some of the same stuff we touched on tonight. We'll get our subjects together, and I would say we would get our asses in gear, but this first episode is now official. So, Ice Queen and the Snowman, Speaking Our Truth, episode 1 is now in the books, and we will talk to y'all next week.